Welcome back to Philosophy Archive. Tonight, we look at the illusion of now. Imagine, if you will, a solitary sailor navigating the ceaseless ocean under the indifferent gaze of the moon. Each wave that rises and falls beneath the hull carries with it the rhythm of time itself, a timeless dance of present moments, each declaring its ephemeral sovereignty before slipping silently into the past, just as new ones are birthed from the enigmatic depths of the future. This metaphorical sea, the vast temporal expanse, betrays the inherent fragility of what we consider the now, that elusive point trying to balance on the edge of the knife between what has been and what will inevitably come. As we embark upon this journey into understanding the ever-present illusion, we confront the notion that our consciousness is perpetually anchored not in the steadfast present, but at the periphery, flitting like a fledgling albatross barely skimming the surface, forever in motion. Consider the light from a star, arriving from light years away, delayed yet comforting in its gentle assurance that the world is indeed more expansive than our fleeting experience. Our understanding of the now proves akin to this celestial light, an impression tinted not by the sheer factuality of the moment, but rather by the subjective instruments of perception, including memory and anticipation. Imagine for a moment a symphony conductor standing at the center of an orchestra, sweeping the baton elegantly through the air, guiding each musician through the written score. The music flows seamlessly. Yet for the conductor, the present requires anticipation of the next note, while still remembering the one preceding it, for both are necessary to maintain the harmony. Here lies the paradox of conscious awareness. We believe ourselves to be artisans of the present, yet we function as curators of past echoes, crafting the monument of now. In truth, what we perceive as the present is often a construct of our minds, mediating the raw stream of temporal data, sculpting it into manageable parcels of understanding, a mental pastiche of sensory input, memory and expectation that becomes a fragile god we designate as the now. Gel. This synthesis presents itself like the chapters of a book being read too quickly to appreciate the meaning at its verdant heart, yet slow enough to spin the illusion of understanding. Contemplating the ticking of a grandfather clock, its pendulum swinging with immutable regularity, transports us to the chamber where time itself seems to manifest in mechanical precision. Yet the sound of each tick is already a touch behind, an echo of a movement completed in time gone by. The clock does not live in an absolute present. Rather, it dwells in a realm of temporal echoes, each tick marking a fracture between intention and action. To unravel the fabric of our understanding of the now, we must address how modern neuroscience interrogates this temporal phenomena. Within the confines of our brain, a neuronal dance ensues, with various regions coordinating the perception of immediate experiences against a backdrop of cognitive prediction. Neuroscientists suggest that the brain operates on a half-second delay, meaning what we perceive as the present may, in fact, already belong to the past, our conscious experience arising slightly behind the sensory data we intake. Indeed, the crux of this experience entrenches us in the philosophy of presence, a duality of observation, both observer and the observed endure. This duality hints that the now is a mental construction built upon the daily rituals of our relational engagements with space, time, and ourselves. We exist in a tapestry of reflexive responses to stimuli, presenting the illusion of a linear and coherent reality. Furthermore, let us consider how the very notion of now is often intrinsically linked to memory, not only in how we remember the past, but in predicting the future. The brain, a maestro of fantastical narratives, projects reverberations of began events forward, drawing upon past experiences to forge the architecture of expected phenomena. Our navigation through this complex simultaneity renders now a humble referee overseeing an invisible game between past and future ideations. Like a painter tasked with infinite canvas, our minds lavish the present with brushstrokes borrowed from lessons lived and lessons imagined, layering vibrant hues of emotional resonance, sensory input, and cognitive architecture. In this nuanced interplay, the vivid portrayal of reality emerges as an amorphous amalgamation of time's impregnations, painted with strokes pulled from the mind's palette. Yet once complete, the painting, now fixed in our memory, is an echo already, an edifice concocted by nuanced trickery. Thus we return to the sleeping sailor at the helm, a stoic sentinel amid the constant whispers of wanton waves. The sea mirrors our experience, seemingly still linear and eternal, yet continually dissolving, each crafted now into the vapor of ever-passing memory. Are we to detach from the jeweled trinkets of tangible moments, peering instead behind the ephemeral illusion? Our exploration marks the beginning of understanding the layers upon layers inherent to human consciousness, forged by memories and dreams, stories we tell ourselves about what is happening as it happens. Now, as we set course for the next chapter of our exploration, let us cast our gaze into the uncertain corridors of the universe, where our understanding of reality may yet further unravel. The dimension of time promises new insights, inviting us to venture beneath the surface of apparent continuity, into the mysterious realm of stories, woven not of moments nor of spaces alone, but of an intricate tapestry of their union. Imagine, if you will, a day unfolding like a palimpsest of time, where beneath the surface of each unfolding moment lies the ghostly remnants of an observed now being slowly overwritten by the present. As such, envision yourself wandering through an ornate garden where time stretches languorously, like rays of the setting sun that linger far longer than the Earth's rotation permits. Here, in this suspended interplay of shadow and light, stands the human mind, an enigmatic gardener, planting seeds in the fertile soil of perception and expectation, crafting a landscape of the ever-receding present. As you traverse this temporal garden, each step echoes against the cobblestones of reality, yet the sound waves taking flight lag just behind, capturing but a faint memoir of the vibrant now. Here lies the enigma. Each passing second is tethered to what's perceived as the day, yet what truly anchors the continuum of our daily existence, if not merely fleeting illusions of presence. Consider the intricate choreography set upon the stage of our cognitive theater, where actors of memory and foresight conspire to enact a scene that is perpetually becoming, and yet already belongs to the archive of yesterdays. The embrace of now is thus a perfunctory affair, a tender illusion wrapped delicately around a framework of perceptual delay and future projection. By dwelling within the realm of a day lost in now, we witness the ephemeral marvel of reality itself, a delicate ecosystem precariously balanced amid the perpetual flux between beginnings and ends. In this ethereal dance, the scenery changes with each blink of conscious awareness. Imagine yourself seated upon a park bench, observing the passers-by, each figure a cameo appearance only partially realized within your sensory narrative. Human forms weave through the tapestry of your perception, a moving fresco cast upon the momentary canvas, yet their presence exists at an infinitesimal lag, an assemblage of light and motion stitched momentarily into the quilt of now. Like an audience watching a play through a veil, our immediate experience of any given day remains distanced, muted by the filtering curtain of our cognitive processing. The world passes by not in sharp clarity, but in softened hues, the lingering afterimage of stimulus slowly intertwining with the curved edges of expectation and memory. Such is the nature of life when examined through the lens of time's relentless passage. Within the human condition, we find that each day's now is interconnected with coils of reflection and prediction. As you sit amidst the greenery, observing the flora around you, take note of the plants reaching skyward, yearning for sunlight to metamorphose the unseen potential within. Their tenuous grasp for life mirrors our own pursuit of understanding in a universe ever fleeting. Our desires and aspirations are relics of prior moments pondered, each sprouting anticipation for that which we deem worthy of the future. These latent imaginings gestate unseen beneath the surface hum of conscious thought, lost in the pulse of immediate experience. Such intricacies within our cognition paint a fraught portrait, defying any simplistic delineation of time's course. In your mind's eye, conjure an image of a bustling marketplace. Each stallholder announces their wares in a cacophony of animated pride, a pandemonium of barter and trade underpinning the heartbeat of the community. Yet, to appreciate this vibrant scene in its entirety is an impossible demand upon the moment. Our perception allows us but glimpses, snapshots of the whole, which we lazily patch together with elements recalled and others anticipated. A mosaic of human connectedness, only germinated entirely within the labyrinthine mind. Consider the paradox of interaction mapped upon this market tableau. As we engage, the now possess an illusion of fullness, though in truth, our thoughts straddle the temporal lines, querying threads held prisoner to both memory and expectation. Each daily exchange functions as both emissary and historian, a retelling of events delicately poised upon the transient balance of sensation and supposition. Thus, we fashion an endless stream of experiential narrative in which a day effortlessly dissolves into a continuum replete with vague recollections and deceptive previews. So, like a creator entrained perfectly in rhythm with their craft, we find ourselves ensnared within the delicate art of moment-making, not unlike a masterful weaver at an ancient loom, the fibers of reality glowing and bristling against dexterous index and thumb. Each thread, a conscious thread of awareness, thrums, vibrating with the potential of tomorrow and yesterday, forming a tapestry whose patterns dart and drift with the intangibility of whispering dream. Yet, even as each thread intersects and overlaps, becoming threaded in the grand intricacy of our journey through the day, the intersection remains an isolated phantom, touched only briefly by perception's grace, before weathering the storm of inevitable obscurity. The conundrum of now, then, is not merely a question of capturing it, but embracing all the nuances of its contraction and expansion, its mottled grandeur sketched against the cavernous depths of time imagined. And with that, as we find ourselves at the natural pause in this day lost within the passage of now, let us prepare to step beyond the threshold of illusion. If night betrays day with a veil of unfolding dusk, so too does our understanding of the present lie often swathed within shrouds of uncertainty. As the horizon dips below our sightline, suspending us within a state of contemplative twilight, our gaze turns inward, and we beckon yet more questions into being, those that delve into the profound mystery of how we truly experience a world forever in flux. We stand ready to explore the intricate relationship of consciousness and temporality as we step further upon our journey, beckoning in the specters hidden within time's embrace. To live in the present is to balance upon a tightrope spun not of certainty, but of gestural memory and emerging aspiration. Time itself, ephemeral as it may be experienced, unfurls around us as a silken thread weaving through the loom of perception and interpretation. The universe conducts a grand symphony, wherein each instant is both fleeting and seemingly eternal, like the notes of a masterful crescendo heard for a brief moment only to become an echo in a cavernous hall, imprinted upon the recesses of memory. The fleeting moment, this attraction of our fascination, seems to elude capture, always slipping back into the folds of past, or folding forward into the anticipation of all that may yet unfurl before us. As a marble rolls steadily down an inclined plane, subject to the steady pressure of gravity, our consciousness dips gently with every tick of time, sliding from the sharpness of now into the softness of what was. Yet we find ourselves clinging to these evanescent experiences, savoring the essence of now, even as we understand the inherent impossibility of arresting its passage. Every heartbeat serves to amplify this collective delusion, each pulse an artifact of time that resonates within the boundaries of flesh and bone, harmonizing the duality between the tangibility of a moment and its intrinsic disappearance. In the crucible of our minds, the now exists less as concrete truth and more as shadow play of overlapping realities, each drawn from threads of awareness fabricated into the quilt of perception. This intricate dance of perception and cognition vivifies reality's mosaic, painting upon it an amalgamation of subconscious tricks and overt suggestion. We are, thus, makers of our own experiential architecture, with every throughway we wander and pathway we build, formed of our own inhibitions and aspirations. Envision a chess player deep in contemplation, each move timed in rhythmic sequence, linked to a tactical ballet of foresight and strategy, each move a testament to both the move prior and those yet to come. Here, the fleeting moment functions as a fulcrum upon which future actions and adduced wisdom balance. Entrusted with the gift of foresight, it glances backward, only as a means to discern the landscape ahead. Yet in the pursuit of strategic foresight, the player no doubt becomes engrossed in their focused contemplation, hyper-aware of the consequences determined by the oscillation between vestiges of retrospect and speculative prediction. If you are finding peace in these archives, remember to subscribe to join us on the next journey. Herein lays a portrait of the conscious mind at work, a cascade of thought undulating like the surface of a lake, stirred by the stone of experience and expectation, generating ripples which, though brief, linger in circles of understanding, long after the stone has come to rest at the depth. Yet no stream of thought, however nuanced, can encompass the totality of now. Fleeting moments flee with brushes of wind, claiming their position once the wings of present perception grow weaker. We exist upon the plane of contemporary temporality, much like a composer inscribing music upon an unending score. Every stroke reflective, every note a suggestion of infinite possibility, marking an overture to inevitable symphonic denouement. Each phrase cycles through crescendos, each gradual rise and fall of tempo impressed in its momentary awe, then cast asunder as the passage transports us to an anticipated future measure. The present, like the ship navigating an endless sea, dances between water's outflow and the helm's resolute course, both reliant on earthly forces unseen. In these chapters of temporal awareness, the one certainty we draw is that each fleeting instance is but a cipher, a custodian of translated comprehension, necessary fragments lodging themselves into the constant mosaic of time. Visualize as an intricate embroidery spread upon the loon's frame, each colored thread weaving its story within the collective continuity of reality. The warp and weft of existence, merging past hues with the overt play of future designs. Here is the narrative of our reality in practice. The act of inhabiting the present is one where the hand of temporal cognition stitches each experience into the wider tapestry, alight with fleeting threads. As we journey through this exploration, we inevitably confront the notion of absence in the draw of immediacy. Our existence, sculpted in layers and layers of compressed narratives, moves to rhythms misunderstood, thinking forms contextual, and understandings refine. Staring through this reflection, gently as stewards of experience interpret the kaleidoscope of woven time. In union with our own self-illusion, the cognitive dance progresses throughout the infinite wayfinding of experiential identity. It is here in the ambiguity of the fleeting moment that we find the resonance of shared humanity. Each of us travelers stitching a remnant of our own reality into the pastiche of collective experience. In the illusion of now, we breathe the shared air of momentary thought. With breath held, ready to plunge deeper into the swirling currents of awareness, therein beckons the infinite potential of the exploration. All derives from an understanding of fleeting presence's dissonance, a recognition embraced once you accept the cascading margins set between the moments we become and the stories we recount. And so the newfound sunrise signals the nascent birth of new moments, fresh negotiations upon the shifting plateau of consciousness. With memories freshly inked and thoughts yet to cast their shadow, shall we continue to step toward the mystical randomness of possibility unbound? Let it be a path of infinite inquiry and unified inquiry into the transcendental conundrum of time's interchangeable identity. As the world continues to unravel its temporal tapestry, the intricate threads of human experience reveal a unique play of moments, each cast upon the grand stage of time. Envisage yourself seated in the dimly lit corner of a subterranean cafe, where the bustling world above seems momentarily hushed, and time appears to wrap itself around your consciousness, like a gentle fog. In this intimate alcove, the minutiae of daily existence, the rhythmic tapping of rain against glass, the steam curling from a porcelain cup, serve as touchstones, ephemeral markers within the vast expanse of the present's illusion. Here, beneath the surface of perceived continuity, the human mind grapples with the inexorable passage of time, its relentless forward march mirrored by the ceaseless ticking of the clock, mounted silently upon the cafe wall. Ponder the delicate balance maintained by our consciousness, perpetually anchored at the cusp of the known and the unknown, straddling the fine line separating the finality of the past from the nebulous potential of the future. Our existence encapsulates a unique narrative, perpetually in medias res, each moment imbued with significance by the prescient presence of antecedents and contenders. This narrative beckons forth to be explored, transcending the arbitrary boundaries of past, present, and future, crafting an irresolute dialogue where each instant is easily consumed and reborn anew in the infinite dance of time. Journeying further into this notion of time, we find ourselves exploring the very essence of what it means to be human, a questioning presence caught within the confines of fleeting moments. Imagine the gentle rustle of pages turning amidst the solitude of a library, where time stretches and unfurls like an untamed ribbon pushed gently by a breath of wind through solitary aisles of printed knowledge. Each book holds within its pages the record of a single existence, the repository of hopes, dreams, and fears, fragile echoes preserved through textual permanence, yet animated by the indomitable spirit of human inquiry. For every narrative studied or simplistic notion pondered, shapes of now explode in nascent attention, revealing the cast of temporal spectrums, a chorus conducted by the wealth of past experiences paired with the harmonious subtlety of an unexpected tonal wave on hopes for tomorrow. Within the crucible of the library's hushed expanse, there exists a curious remembrance, a longing to capture the fleeting nature of time as it quickly escapes our grasp, as elusive as the passages lost to memory. Here, wisdom becomes unlocked, carrying with it the opulence of detail past, forever guiding us towards self-discovery and insight into the endless riddle of our ephemeral existence, recorded here in loops of splendid prose. As each page turns, so too does our understanding of the intimate interplay between perception and cognition, an eternal waltz born of inattention and receptivity that persuasively blurs the boundaries between man's connection to memory and our taught perceptions of now. Contemplating the human condition, the grasp toward tangible context becomes apparent in an ever-mutating landscape, overcrowded with impermanent fragments. Engage for a fleeting moment with the image of a writer at their desk, fingers poised above a silent keyboard, eyebrows assembled in determined calculation. Thoughts flit angrily around the furious heartbeat, resonating physically within the individual recesses of possibility as potential inspirations await the determined creation of an idea. Throughout the process, immersed in the soul's tender dialogue, a serendipitous dance upon reflections of consciousness commences, where shadows of memory become conjoined with echoes of yet unraveled stimuli. Within this sanctuary of creativity, the now unfolds, bridging the known with the unknown in a sacred ritual of origin, orchestrated against the backdrop of vibrant reflection. As the narrative concludes, let us confront an eternal gem, carved from the silences of past abysses, forever feeding its echoes to illuminate present comprehension. Endeavor to awaken as the sculptor does, eye intently focused upon this unyielding marble slab. A vast, impenetrable white-on-white mystery, pregnant with memories, anticipation, and suspended time's enigma, channeled on the sunbeam awoken in precious now. Nyoan. Thus, we ponder the precious duality of perception and understanding illuminated, each nuance unfolded by shadows of temporal reality intertwining our existential exploration, reaching through clouds of forever forgotten moments past, vying midway between our now and our unrequited craving for continuance. We move knowingly toward this undeniable epigram as time's fragile narrative grants further insight. Here, the fabulous intricacies of today become enthralling ephemerals best caught unknowing, per periphery's gentle brush with phenomena. If, in all its projections, we can dare to embark beneath the wings of contemplative dreams, then what further illumines our night sky? As we finally close our reflections across this boundless odyssey, consider this. Beneath every now lies anticipation's gentle breath, always whispering the inevitable call towards new awakenings and fresh endings. Envision, then, the ancient Greek saga of impossibility, where paradox greets perception with playful deception, orchestrated by the mind of a sage named Zeno. His philosophical riddle challenged the finitude of motion and the continuity of time, asserting a reality in which every tangible moment exists on the threshold of 1,000 untouchable infinities. Let us engage with the tale of Achilles and the tortoise, a perplexing narrative where reason eroded linear progression. In this purported reality, as swift-footed Achilles pursued the unyielding tortoise, we discover their path a battleground of time dissected into infinitesimal fragments. Achilles, though swift, must traverse the distance to where the slow tortoise begins, only to find that the tortoise has minutely advanced in the interval of his stride. Thus, he journeys eternally, closing fractions of infinities, yet seemingly endless, leaving us grasping at the notion of infinite regress. Imagine for a moment a race staring across concentric circles of perspective, seeking a point which remains eternally out of reach. Countless intervals interlock, weaving the moving with the unmoving, reality's threaded constancy, a grand paradox questioning fundamental existence itself. Zeno's mastery lay in exposing the dissonance between concept and perception, revealing an impossibility cloaked in the illusion of simple motion. Like a tender breeze carrying the scent of distant rain, this paradox permeates human understanding, challenging us with the unheard whispers of time's symmetrical play. Now, consider the dichotomy of distance itself, divided with the assumption that space and time consist of discrete units, each halved eternally, never vanquishing the infinite progression. How then does one navigate this boundless tapestry, if every action requires transcending endless subdivisions? The race is a metaphor, a human mind wrestling with the profundity of comprehending existence as rhythmically splitting and rejoining our perceived unity with the boundless illusion of smooth continuity. Envision again Zeno's arrow, poised in mid-flight, suspended in time's eternal tableau vivant. In every slice of this static existence, the arrow appears immobilized, captured within its frame, a photographic artifact dwelling amidst broader contexts. Each moment, independent, enlivened yet uncoupled from flow, confounds continuous movement, spliced between discrete, silent positions across imagined frameworks of infinite partitions. In this paradox, do we not also see the paradox of perception, habitually grasping for continuity within abstraction, seduced by the appearance of temporal harmony? Reflect upon this suggestion of eternal stillness prevailing in the squaring of finite with infinite, a jigsaw puzzle awkwardly misaligned in an everlasting inquiry. Heraclitus genius. His parables defy time's straightforward depiction. Zeno's paradoxality flirts with the flavor of human understanding, teasing the boundaries confining our experience within the tactile universe. Turning the Ouroboros wheel of existence, past and future bleed into one another, folding infinitely in recursive ascendancy, a Mobius strip on which time cycles. Here stands Zeno at its heart, unspooling the vulnerable thread woven through the delicate loom of cognition. Imagine this Zeno, not as an antagonist, but a gentle caretaker of doubt, provoking invitation into contemplation's curious embrace, blurring definitive motion across its reflecting facets, urging us to peer past sensory deception toward deeper truths. We must ponder the truth embedded within paradox, suspended like the gleaming trapeze artist, soaring through potential, yet tethered by determinism's antinomy. In the vertiginous attempt to solve Zeno's puzzles, human perception confronts the ceaselessly recurring idea of an unresolvable moment hovering upon the edge of tangible existence. Each allegory from Zeno's quiver strikes a chord, a tactile reminder that the realm of reason traverses an asymmetrical landscape, perpetually divided between perception's trust and certainty's flux, like a maze of mirrors, each reflective surface an unending kaleidoscope of derived insight. In asking the impossible, Zeno shows us the immaterial lens through which we perceive the arrow's motion, reminding us that within every analysis lies not the comfort of conclusion, but a gateway to more profound inquiry. And so, let us pause to breathe in the intellectual fragrance of this elusive realm. The lineage of inquiry curtails the boundary of understanding. And with Zeno as our stalwart guide through Paradox Valley, we ultimately rest knowing that the very question fuels existence's narrative. As we prepare to explore further into the complex tapestry of temporal understanding, connecting past impossibilities with future inevitabilities, notice how one's grasp of now wavers like the lightly penned ellipses of Zeno's discourse, a slipping ink invitation to embrace life's philosophical rhetoric and let it usher us into the larger domain of timelessness, where questions outpace answers. Heraclitus, a sage of antiquity, once proposed that all is in flow, declaring famously that no man steps into the same river twice, for it is not the same river, nor is he the same man. In this grandiloquent statement lies a profound meditation on the essence of temporality, the inexorable current that sweeps through the veins of existence and alters everything it touches. Imagine a river, as vast and unyielding as the human experience itself, torrents cascading ceaselessly, shaping the land through which they course, with each eddy reflecting the light of transient moments. This river is a metaphor for time, unbounded and relentless, ever changing its course, ever forging new paths, much like our lives, perpetually transformed by the passage of what has come into being and what lingers yet ahead. Within the nature of our perception, Heraclitus River teaches us about the fundamental doctrine of impermanence, introducing us to the dance between change and constancy that defines our conception of reality. The waters, though familiar in their flow, remain forever altered by the touch of each leaf, each drop of rain that enters the stream, unsettling and rearranging its contents, much as our lives are continuously reshaped by experience, insight, and event. Consider the mind of a traveler standing at the river's edge, captivated by the cascading rush, each droplet a fleeting entity rushing toward the eternal sea, yet simultaneously contributing to the identity of the river as a whole. In this analogy lies a poignant reflection of consciousness. As we perceive ourselves to be singular entities navigating the expanse of time, our awareness flitters like wayward leaves upon the water's surface, buoyed by the perpetuity of the flow beneath. Here, we are prompted to question, how then do we ever come to know the present, if the river itself is never static, if every moment is merely a bridge from what once was to what will soon occur? Heraclitus teaches us that identity is a fluid construct, forever in flux, held within the crucible of time's passage. Just as the river maintains continuity amidst a ceaselessly dynamic state, so too do we persist as beings, albeit composed of shifting memories and emergent possibilities. This relationship between identity and change is depicted by the symbolic river, for it is not the same river twice, yet it carries an intrinsic constancy, an unbroken line that echoes Heraclitus's vision of becoming rather than being. Much like the river, we too are composites of both the seen and unseen, reflections of our perceptions of moments and their inevitable transformation. Consider a tree growing upon the riverbank, its roots diving deep into the fertile soil that the river has carried downstream through eons. The tree, like our understanding of now, is but temporary, shaded by seasonal change and the steady advance of time. Yet it stands firm, a sentinel to the river's ceaseless journey, its branches tracing the sky in elegant arcs, annotating the fleeting moments it endures within the temporal avalanches of the river below. Its presence is a testament to the continuity within ourselves, the ability to root identity within the kaleidoscope of experience, continually reshaped by the promise of renewal. Upon this tableau, Heraclitus' philosophy urges us to embrace change, grasping tightly to the paradoxical essence of life's ephemerality. That though individual moments are impermanent, the flow of time binds them into an interconnected sequence, giving us the experience of continuity. Our perception of now, therefore, emerges not as a static frequency, but akin to intricate symphony, a harmony of connections, events, and anticipations converging upon the boundary of what has been and what shall be. With Heraclitus as our guide, it is time to turn our gaze inward, contemplating the river's passage through our own lives. These moments of awareness, each a waterfall into the next, blend into a singular continuum, a symphonic whole where harmonies of individuality and universality are bound together in a delicate interplay of fleeting certainties. Hence, in this river of time, both persistence and transience coexist, illustrating the interwoven nature of the human experience. As we stand upon the river's edge, caught within the paradox of its eruption and serenity, we are reminded of Heraclitus's profound wisdom, that change defines existence. We exist within this dynamic orchestration, our consciousness streaming thoughts like water etching newer paths within the landscapes of awareness. The river hints at a profound truth. The essence of the now is not static but an ever-evolving pathway, sculpting our past and illuminating the vista of our future. Thus, we find ourselves bound in the curriculum of change, participating in this cosmic theater that we call life, our conscious experience, an exquisite melange of memory, and the whisperings of potential. As Heraclitus hinted, let us allow ourselves to become comfortable with the fluidity of the river of time, no longer fearing its ongoing metamorphosis, but embracing it as the vessel through which the future may be determined, and the present eternally explored. In the spirit of Heraclitus's teachings, we are beckoned toward a more profound understanding of our place within the cosmos, moving beyond the illusion of stasis into a realm where the dance of change reveals a hidden symmetry. As the flow of time continues to nourish, to erode and renew, let us, like the river, expand and transform with each unfolding moment, becoming co-authors of our own existence, forever changing, yet ever rooted in the ethos of becoming. In the vast and timeless lexicon of philosophy, few traditions have engaged so profoundly with the indelible truth of impermanence as Buddhism. Picture a lush garden stretched beneath the playful dance of falling leaves, each leaf a moment drifting from the canopy of the eternal present, only to become part of the earth once more. The Buddhist teachings on impermanence arise from such imagery, inviting us to peer deeply into the intrinsic transience that underpins the universe. These teachings do not merely speak of change but beckon us to embrace it, to find peace within the dance of form and formlessness, of being and becoming. Imagine, if you will, the serene visage of a monk seated within this garden, cloaked in robes dyed by nature's own palette, atop a stone worn smooth by the currents of time. Here, amidst whispers of rustling foliage, the monk contemplates the truth that all phenomena are subject to cessation, an elegy to the notion that nothing remains the same. The heart of impermanence whispers that clinging to temporal illusions only begets suffering, urging us instead to find liberation in the flow of transformation. The wind murmurs through the branches, a reminder that just as it is impossible to grasp the breeze, so too do moments slip through our grasp, a stream of beginnings and endings in perpetual renewal. The Nihon Sunyata Sutra articulates this impermanence beautifully, with each phrase strung like beads of dew upon a spider's web, a testimony to the delicate balance between existence and non-existence. The textual wisdom captures the impermanence of the self, the body, the world. Realities coalesce, dissolve, and re-emerge in an ever-turning wheel of samsara, the cycle of birth, life, death, and rebirth. In examining this wheel, we find a mirror reflecting the harmonies and dissonances composed by the myriad intersections of lives intertwined. To grasp the impermanency we embody is to stand at the fulcrum of compassion, seeing not merely the dissolution of self, but the birth of selflessness, where empathy blossoms as transiently beautiful as a cherry blossom before the fall. Contemplating the ceaseless cycle of creation and decay, one begins to understand the principle of anicca, a key tenet of Buddhist doctrine, an acceptance of the temporary nature of existence. This acceptance is not passive resignation, but an active engagement with life's impermanence, a harmonious dance with the universe's ever-changing rhythm. Imagine tracing the patterns of a mandala, drawn meticulously upon the earth, only for the grains of sand to be unceremoniously dispersed by the wind. The beauty of the mandala lies not in its permanence, but in the sublime expression of now, the art of creation and dissolution entwined. In our exploration of impermanence, consider the wayfarer setting out upon the open road, their path lit by the sun and guided by the vistas that unfold at each turn. The mountains and valleys they encounter embody the transient nature of the world, rising vast and majestic, yet slowly eroding with the passage of time. Each step forwards becomes an act of mindfulness, a meditation upon the journey itself rather than the destination, an allegory for the moments that arise and fade in our consciousness. The doctrine of anatta, or non-self, deepens this understanding by dissolving the illusions of continuity and identity that tether us to suffering. As clouds drift across an azure sky, changing form yet never ceasing to be, so too does the self emerge and dissolve, a temporary confluence of conditions. The dismantling of the self-concept not only reveals the true nature of our interconnectedness, but invites us to liberate our hearts from the chains of attachment, allowing compassion to flow, unencumbered by the confines of ego. Within this freedom, the heart becomes an endless ocean, rippling with joy and equanimity, touched by the light of awakened awareness. We return now to the Garden of Impermanence, where the monk listens to the symphony of nature around them, each sound a testament to the transient beauty of the universe. In the embrace of this impermanence lies a profound peace, an understanding that life, in its essence, is a river of moments continuously weaving through the fabric of existence. To awaken to this impermanence is to step into the flow of reality, moving gracefully with the currents of change, unburdened by the weight of permanence. As we imagine the sun lowering its gaze over the horizon, casting long shadows across the garden, we pause to acknowledge that time, like the river, carries with it the promise of new beginnings. Each day we are beckoned to surrender to the art of becoming, embodying the doctrine of impermanence as a path to wisdom. Let us carry this understanding forward into the next chapter of our philosophical quest, where the journey of consciousness stretches infinite as the stars begin to emerge in the tapestry of night above. In the tapestry of ancient Indian philosophy, the concept of Maya emerges as a central thread, weaving through the Vedic and post-Vedic traditions with the delicate precision of a master artisan. Imagine for a moment a grand theater stage cloaked in shadow, where reality dances behind a veil of illusory perception, each moment passing with calculated grace, each turn revealing yet another layer of the cosmic play. This is Maya, the enchanted illusion that cloaks the essence of the world, casting a profound spell over human consciousness. At the heart of this philosophy stands a paradoxical question: is reality as we perceive it, or is it laced with the silken threads of deception? Hindu philosophy posits that what we often perceive as the tangible world is but a mirage, an enchantment woven to distract the observer from the ultimate truths. This conjured realm pulsates with the energy of potential, a poignant reminder of the boundless power of cosmic illusion. A truth as ancient as time itself, alive with the potency of samsara, the eternal cycle of birth, life, death, and rebirth. Envision yourself in a vibrant garden, each flower a rich tapestry of color unfurling beneath the eternal light of the sun. This garden, much like our daily experiences, seems immutable, a solid foundation upon which to base our understanding of reality. Yet, as the philosopher-poets remind us, this garden may merely be an elaborate dream. The echoes of Brahman, the ultimate reality, obscured by the palpable and transitory sensations we encounter. Consider the metaphor of a dreamer, adrift upon the calm waters of sleep. To the dreamer, every moment feels as real as the waking life. Every encounter, emotion, and sensation is imbued with an authenticity that belies its transient nature. Likewise, Maya invites us to acknowledge that our perceptions of the world are not definitive truths, but reflections filtered through the lens of desire and illusion, rooted in our partial understanding of the cosmic dance. Here in the recesses of these thoughts, we grapple with the implications of Maya, naturally questioning what it means to live amidst this divine artistry. Through the veil of illusion, we glimpse the shadow of duality, one of the universe's main stages, where the interplay between truth and falsehood is endlessly dramatized. It reveals how human desires, fears, and aversions magnify the illusory nature of life, wrapping the soul in layers of karmic consequence. Picture yourself as a craftsman, piecing together a mosaic from countless shards of glass, each representing an element of personal reality, a story painted in vibrant hues, reflecting an inner journey toward meaning. Maya suggests that this mosaic is but a fragment of the vaster mural of existence, a single interpretation in an expansive gallery that transcends personal perception. With each deft placement of a tile, you come closer to an understanding of your piece's connection to the larger pattern, yet the veil of illusion remains persistent, casting doubt upon the clarity of your creation. Throughout this intricate tapestry, the notion of consciousness plays a pivotal role, drawing the thinker into a cosmic dialogue with the self and the universe. To confront Maya is to delve into the depths of self-perception, to explore the complexity of consciousness as a blend of sight, memory, and cognition. It beckons us to look beyond material appearances and embrace the profound unity of all being, an understanding that the dreamer and the dream are one. To unravel the enchantment of Maya is to seek truth that transcends duality and fragmentation, daring to gaze upon the cosmos without the filter of illusion. In moments of meditation, we glimpse the world through the eyes of the sage, observing the interplay between form and void, light and shadow, a synergy of creation and dissolution, governed by the principles of Maya. As the script of life unfolds upon the grand stage of existence, Maya becomes the playwright, crafting a narrative steeped in paradox and ambiguity. The act of perceiving the self in contrast to the other, the tangible from the intangible, is but a fraction of the cosmic script devised to guide souls toward enlightenment. A journey culminating in the realization of oneness with the ultimate essence, Brahman. Consider the shifting sands of a desert under the mirage's shimmering gaze, where the apparent beauty of life dances with the hallucinatory echo of perception. Here, within this enigmatic dreamscape, we understand that Maya does not negate the validity of experience, but encourages us to indulge in the dance of life with awareness and discernment, to transcend illusions and embrace reality's authentic dimensions. As our exploration of Maya reaches its poetic denouement, we are invited to stand upon the threshold of deeper cosmic mysteries, fully cognizant of the scripts shaping our present. We prepare to wander beyond the edges of illusion, moving toward an understanding of reality, rich with infinite possibility and timeless wisdom. This is the beauty of the Hindu imagination, its gift of deep insight into the sacred, thus assuring us that the more profound the delusion, the greater is the revelation it conceals. And in embracing our illusory existence, we unravel the truth hidden just beyond the perception of now. Imagine the universe as a vast, boundless tapestry, its fabric woven from the very threads of spacetime itself, stretching infinitely across the cosmos. In our journey of unraveling the complex nature of time and its illusions, we now venture into the profound realm of relativity and the mind of Albert Einstein. Here, in the quietude of cosmic contemplation, Einstein's groundbreaking insights into the nature of reality invite us to re-examine our understanding of the world, compelling us to navigate the intricate interplay of time, space, and gravity. Picture, if you will, space-time as an expansive fabric, each point interlaced with its neighbors, creating a seamless web that forms the very essence of the universe. As celestial bodies like stars and planets traverse this fabric, they exert a force that bends and distorts space-time itself, much like a heavy sphere placed upon a taut blanket, causes it to stretch and warp around the object. In this analogy lies the heart of Einstein's genius, the radical notion that gravity is not merely a force acting at a distance, but a curvature of space-time. Imagine standing at the edge of a deep well, gazing into its depth. This well represents a gravitational field, and the warping of space-time by massive objects is akin to the presence of such wells scattered across the cosmic fabric. The path of a beam of light, cast across this landscape, naturally follows the curves and bends of these wells, revealing the true undulating nature of the universe. Einstein's theory bifurcates our understanding of time itself. In the presence of such gravitational fields, time, as we perceive it, appears to slow, a phenomenon known as gravitational time dilation. Imagine, if you will, two twins, one who remains on Earth and another who travels to a distant, massive star. Upon their reunion, the traveler appears younger, having experienced time differently due to the immense gravitational field encountered. Thus, time is malleable, bending to the will of gravity, no longer the absolute linear progression once assumed, but an elastic tapestry, weaving through the very structure of the universe. In the expanding panorama of the cosmos, Einstein's insights provoke us to question the very essence of simultaneity, a cornerstone of our experiential concept of now. Envision an immense symphony, orchestrated across the vast stage of space. Each instrument represents a celestial body resonating within this cosmic concert. And yet, what one observer perceives as simultaneous notes, akin to the moment they consider now, may unfold at different times for another observer in a separate frame of reference. Here, Einstein demolishes the fictive walls of absolute time, revealing that the now is not a universally fixed point, but a relativistic perception, unique to each observer's viewpoint within spacetime's curving embrace. Our conceptual journey through the fabric of spacetime beckons us toward an enigmatic horizon, the event horizon of black holes, those voracious devourers of light itself. As matter swirls into the inescapable pull of these celestial maelstroms, spacetime bends beyond imagination, collapsing under such immense gravity that beyond this brink exists a realm forever concealed from observation. To witness from afar is to observe a dramatic spectacle, where the flow of time stretches infinitely, seeming to render the act of falling eternal, and everlasting, now frozen in the moment of descent. With mind nestled upon these profound shores, we are called to contemplate the union of minuscule and grand. Relativity, magnificent in its grasp of the macroscopic universe, begs interaction with the quantum tapestry that unfolds at scales unimaginably small. The quantum realm introduces a cadenced indeterminacy to the essence of prediction, paralleled by the relativistic certainty of spacetime's vast swells. As we draw our chapter to its close, reflect upon these revelations that redefine the nature of reality. The fabric of spacetime, like a living organism, breathes and shifts with the mass and velocity of celestial entities. In this realm, once dominated by notions of unyielding absolutes, we encounter a fluidic dance, inviting us to embrace the temporal ambiguity and cosmic interconnectedness that bind us to the universe. As with each step taken, let us retain the wonder imparted by this sojourn into the heart of relativity. Bearing in mind that our investigation of spacetime is but one of many mysteries infused with the elegance and complexity that composes the infinite theater of time and space. Thus, we prepare to delve deeper into the narrative that lies beyond simple perception, inviting further introspection upon the limitless intricacies that sculpt reality, always seeking the beauty hidden beneath the fabric of the temporal dance. In the nuanced corridors of human cognition, few concepts are as tantalizingly elusive and yet profoundly impactful as psychological presentism. The notion that our perception of time is deeply rooted in an ever-shifting illusion of now. Picture, if you will, a grand library wherein each book represents a singular moment tethered to our consciousness, arranged not by chronological order, but rather by the resonance it carries in our mental experience. Unlike the linear tracks upon which clocks march, our minds traverse time non-linearly. This mental framework, rich with subjective interpretation, invites us into the tapestry of experience sculpted by memories, imbuing present moments with meaning. The essence of psychological presentism suggests that our conscious experience is fundamentally oriented around the present moment, the anchor point from which we perceive both the past and the future. Imagine standing at an elaborate observatory, the stars glittering above, each representing a potential memory or future event, part of a wider constellation illuminating the night sky. In this observatory, the telescopic gaze is fixed firmly upon a singular yet impermanent star, our immediate now. The past and future, while influencing this observation, remain as luminous echoes or anticipations, influencing the pattern, but not the central focus. Our minds, ever perceptive, gravitate toward this immediacy, constructing a lived narrative that feels immediate, intimate, and intensely palpable, seduced by what we comprehend as the thrust of time. One of the phenomena that elucidates psychological presentism is the role of sensory experiences, how immediate stimuli engage our consciousness, momentarily dominating our awareness. Envision yourself amidst a bustling marketplace, vibrant with color and sound, every sensory input jostling for attention. Here, the whispers of past exchanges are distant, the beckoning calls of future scenes indistinct. It is the vivid present that seizes your conscious mind, refining the narrative of now through the filtering lens of perception. This instantaneous sensory engagement creates a captivating, albeit transient, focal point amidst the ceaseless flow of temporal awareness. As we peer deeper into the framework of psychological presentism, we encounter the interwoven strands of memory, expectation, and taste. The vividness of presence is contextually tethered to the larger tapestry of our lived experience. The neuroscientific lens reveals that our brain, ever the intuitive artist, adeptly crafts this tapestry by constantly weaving together threads from different times, anchoring them to anchor present moments. Imagine a painter before an expansive canvas, each stroke representing a nuance of experienced time, a spectrum of hues drawn from both lived memory and anticipated futures. This composition enriches the present moment, granting each now a sense of context and depth, its vividness amplified by the embellishments of sensory memory. Yet in our exploration, we must acknowledge that such richly layered experiential presentism holds its complexity and variance. There are rhythms and shades of presence, influenced significantly by emotion and attentiveness. Consider the beating of the human heart, accelerated by fear or stilled by peace. Each heartbeat echoes differently through our perceptions. The effective nature of emotional resonance can vividly mark the present, making moments pulsate with an almost tangible immediacy or slipping by unnoticed in tranquil subtlety. Such experiences influence perception, effectually crafting each now into sharper focus or gently blurring it into the backdrop of unnoticed space. As thought travelers engaged in the craft of psychological presentism, we navigate a labyrinth of illusory presence, bewildering in their richness and compelling in their sincerity, unique to the mind's eye. Within this space, the paradox is striking. Each present moment, fleeting and ephemeral, exerts potent control over our sense of self and existence, creating an iridescent bubble of experience fragile against time's sweeping current. Bound by our perceptive capabilities, we caress the present fondly, yet attempt to cast its shadow long across the expanse of time. Returning now to the profound insights from perception psychology, we begin to consider how the persistence of vision melds with the effect of emotion, envisioning a skyline at dusk, bathed in the warm rays of a setting sun, momentarily immortal against the boundless starlit sky. It is within these fleeting moments where psychological presentism reaches its apex. The present unfurls, holding an impression long secured, resonating like the final emotive note in an entrancing symphony. As we embrace this contemplation of how purpose and emotion impact the present, we stand on the precipice of new chapters, inviting fresh understandings into how the fabric of our conscious reality is bound together. Within the vast expanse of our technologically sculpted reality, the impact of innovation on the moment we understand as the now is profound, distorting the fragile narrative of time with both oppressive urgency and splendid illumination. Imagine, if you will, a digital chronometer, each tick not a physical motion but a flicker of light upon a virtual screen, its rhythm governing the simulated space around us, its precision promising a kind of permanence, yet its flickers carrying only the echo of a temporal illusion. Here, The current of technological progress flows unimpeded, cascading through the edifice of human consciousness, shaping the epochs of perception as deliberately as the hands of time smooth rough stones worn along a riverbed. Envision a modern metropolis bathed in the pale glow of 1,000 screens, each casting onwards into the night, guiding thoughts across invisible networks. Each device, a portal, summoning worlds into the palm, projecting alternate realities into the arc of immediate experience. In this outward expansion lies technology's double edge. It forges connection and fragments it simultaneously, broadening awareness while compressing temporal understanding into ever-shrinking parcels of digital immediacy. As we gaze through these screens, each moment is imbued with a deceptive robustness. Crafted headlines, instant notifications, curated streams cascade over the senses, enveloping the now with an expanse of information that vastly outpaces the natural rhythm of human cognition. Consider the pulse of the digital sphere, its ceaseless flow of content, sweeping from the external world through an internal prism, mirrored against algorithms designed to anticipate and direct our gaze. Here, technology maneuvers perception, distilling intricate human experiences into streams of digitized data. It too holds influence over perception's temporal canvas, mirroring the neuronal orchestration within our minds. This guileful seduction, facilitated by the virtual realm, blends time, questioning the authenticity of the present, each click or swipe birthing micromoments seemingly fixated upon, now yet instantly dissolving into an overwhelming continuum. This technological state casts long shadows over the landscape of the cognitive present. The realm of social media incarnates as a theater, in which snapshots and streams display curated lives in an endless play of moments that purport reality, but obscure the complexity of time as perceived by the mind. With each scroll, the familiarity of now splinters into digital fragments, seemingly fixed yet forever ephemeral. A flood of perception shifting narrative landscapes, from the ongoing present to multitudes of intersecting realities, driven by an intoxicating chase for connections and affirmation. Humanity finds itself at a crossroads where tradition and technology converge, embodied by a new digital agora, where history is written in pixels. An experiment in immediacy unfolds, questioning the limits of human attention, with vast quantities of data conflicting with a natural world fashioned in finite layers. As technology exerts its pervasive grasp, fear lies in the potential of an endless assault on present awareness, one that disrupts the balance essential to comprehending temporal grace, a quality slipping ever further from grasp, as if the tether to the visceral moment dangles just beyond the reach of our fingertips. Consider also the transformation of temporal connection within, born by the proliferation of wearable devices, looping back our interrelation with self-awareness. Heartbeats measure themselves against stimuli, track movements, and offer insights infused with algorithms charting personal health and emotional rhythms. It is an enticing promise that technology could act responsive, interpreting the nuance of the present moment. Yet herein lies the conundrum. Do these rapid pulses guide us towards an authentic experience of now? Or do they, in their endless weaving of construct, overshadow the natural ebb and flow of human existence? Within the digital realms, the now emerges not only as a point but as a continuum, an unyielding stream, mapping itself against the horizon of technological progress, where concepts like latency and real-time gain singular prominence. Imagine a symphony where music flows seamlessly. To hear is not merely an auditory experience, but an orchestrated manipulation of time, where spatial fidelity combines an audience's shared now. Similarly, technology manipulates the frame of temporal experience, shaping the very consciousness that perceives it. As humanity steps deeper into the realization of artificial intelligence, quantum computing shadows the periphery of our present understanding. Our familiar concept of now enters unfamiliar terrains, where decisions and perceptions rendered in microseconds challenge the synaptic pacing upon which human cognition was built. In such spaces, we find both promise and peril, the moments experienced, both luminous and dark, show that technology is not merely a tool, but a transformative force, reshaping the temporal essence of what it means to be human. As we arrive at this juncture, let us reflect upon this profound shift, perhaps the grandest convergence of human insight with technological dreamwork, a moment both eternal and elusive. With perception refracted into fractals of digital influence, let us navigate these changes with a desire to understand, to approach the fluctuating arc of the now, not with apprehension, but as a continuous dialogue capable of enriching the human experience. As we stand poised on the precipice of further exploration, let us guide our journey with curiosity and inquiry, and ponder deeply what it means to inhabit a present so closely tied to the evolving strands of technology. Within the intricate labyrinth of human consciousness, a new chapter unfurls as we delve into the profound interplay between cognitive science and lived experience. Imagine for a moment a delicate web of neurons, each strand shimmering under the gentle caress of synaptic electricity, intertwining to form the architecture of the mind, a grand cathedral of consciousness. This cerebral fabric, complex yet elegantly poised, orchestrates our perception of reality, weaving the tapestry of experience that defines our existence. Consider the cognitive landscape as a vast ecosystem interlaced with myriad subsystems, each playing a role in the phenomenological ballet of awareness. Here, amidst this intricate interplay, we find the neural basis for the illusion of now. Not a fixed point, but a fluid construct continuously sculpted by the kaleidoscope of sensory input, memory, and expectation. Imagine a skilled art restorer meticulously retouching a centuries-old fresco, dabbing brushstrokes of memory and future anticipation onto the canvas of immediate experience. In this restoration lies the artistry of cognition, bridging what was with what might soon be, in a constant unfolding present. The brain's capacity to construct this dynamic narrative derives from its intricate neural architecture, a symphonic convergence of regions such as the prefrontal cortex, temporal lobes, and hippocampus. Imagine these areas as a robust triad of conductors leading an orchestra, each channeling its energies to produce a harmonious composition that weaves past memories and anticipated futures into the fabric of lived experience. Yet this orchestration is not instantaneous, fraught with a delay that renders the perception of real-time experience a grand act of subtle deception. Venture into the cerebral vaults and uncover the fascinating mechanism by which our neural substrate buffers this delay. The brain receives a continuous influx of sensory information and processes it with an intriguingly slight lag, much like a film projector, whose images flicker slightly behind the actual movement of the reel. This temporal buffer allows the mind to merge fragments of perception into a seamless flow, transforming disparate snapshots of reality into an elegant dance of perception. The metaphor of a kaleidoscope serves brilliantly to illustrate how cognitive science interprets lived experience. Imagine peering into this ever-rotating cylinder, sprinkled with fragments of colored glass. Each turn reveals a new symmetrical pattern, just as the mind casts dynamic images derived from complex interactions between simultaneous neural pathways. Within this cyclical dance lies the mind's ability to adapt, reinterpret, and reinvent the present. Such is the nature of lived experience, continuously reframed through the lens of perception, shaped by neurological processes and psychological interplay. Linger upon the fascinating phenomenon of perceptual delay. Consider the metaphor of a ship navigating through an ocean of time, its bow perpetually plowing into new waters, while its stern lags behind the real-time surge. In much the same way, human consciousness, while chartered on the boundless sea of temporal perception, remains slightly postponed, observing waves of experience, millennia past. This cognitive lag constructs each moment anew from the resonating echoes of former ones. Perception, entwined so intimately with time, allows experience to saunter through a tapestry of moments, fashioned into the mirage of now. Consider a clock, its pendulum swinging to and fro of unchanging cadence, each tick marking the passing of time that arrives overshadowed by an echoing delay. Within the depths of our synaptic network, this faint echo is amplified by the architectural framework of our cognitive faculties into a meaningful experience of the present. In the grand conversation of lived experience, emotional nuances color each moment with varied shades of resonance, enchanting time's passage with anticipation, or anchoring it with memory. Imagine a theatrical performance dictated not merely by events on stage, but equally by the empathetic engagement of the audience. Here, memories and emotions play pivotal roles in shaping perception's vividness, rendering the play of consciousness a deeply subjective reality. As our journey into cognitive science progresses, we touch upon a poignant theme. Every element of lived experience unfolds as a coalescence of past events, present understanding, and future predictions. The present impresses itself upon a canvas that is never truly blank, a canvas actively meeting the brushstrokes of emergent awareness against shadows of yesterday's perceptions and the faint glimmers of tomorrow's aspirations. Much like a conductor, orchestrating the myriad components of an intricate symphony with deliberate precision, our mind composes the harmonious interplay between cognitive processes and lived experience. Within this symphonic interplay emerges an echo, one that hints at a deeper existential truth, that we are perpetually creating and recreating the illusory boundary between the past and future, forever searching for the present that seems to shimmer just beyond reach. Let us reflect, then, upon the nature of this cognitive tapestry, a delicate interplay rendering the now into a perceptual masterpiece, painting across the relational dyads of moments that build the narrative of our waking lives. Here within lies an invitation to ponder, with curiosity and wonder, the intricate architecture of consciousness as it performs the dance of cognitive synthesis, suspending the wonders of experience and lashings of imagination onto the ripe fruit of lived intimacy condensed within the present. In the depths of time's enigma, where moments are imagined, and existence is a vast symphony of recurring harmonies, we step floatingly into the looping vision of eternal return. Envision this as a corridor sculpted by the ancients, a labyrinth where the ephemeral moments are eternally spun in a cycle, each repetition a reverberation of the past, echoing into the future. To wander through this corridor of repetition is to question the fabric of destiny itself. Are we navigators on an unending trajectory, where the threads of past decisions continuously weave through the garment of eternal return? Or are we artisans of our own fate, etching fresh narratives into the timeless canvas of now? Imagine a grand clockwork mechanism, infinite in its intricacies, each cog and wheel a celestial body, charting the orbits of cosmic recurrence. The cosmic loops suggest a return to origins, a poetic symmetry wherein all actions are recapitulated ad infinitum. This is a concept as old as time itself, breathed into existence by ancient philosophers like Pythagoras and mirrored in Nietzsche's reflections. Nietzsche's vision of the eternal return transcends mere cyclical history. It serves as an existential challenge, inviting one to embrace life with such fervor that they would joyously welcome its unending recurrence. Picture yourself as a voyager upon a ship caught within this limitless sea of recurrence, each wave that rises mirroring those fallen before it, and echoing into those yet to unfold. A dance of motion within time's boundless arena. Herine. The concept of time becomes textured, no longer linear but complex, wrapped and entwined within the layers of existence that fold and unfold, like flowers blooming perennially under the watchful, cyclical sun. Consider a garden of theater masks, each representing roles from acts repeated perpetually, to where each one is to engage with the self, each smile and frown a reflection of moments replayed yet experienced anew. As we interact with this cosmic stage, the essence of identity itself blurs, molded as it is within the hands of an artist whose work is always in progress. Our identity becomes woven into the fabric of time, concurrently permanent and ever-changing, challenging our understanding of self in a manner that transcends simple individuality. Here we are invited to envision not just our own fleeting lives, but a cosmos that participates in this grand orchestration of recurrence. The stars, distant dancers of light, repeat their paths and songs across the vaulted sky, a celestial testament to the cyclical nature of time. It is as though the universe itself is engaged in a dialogue between persistence and change, dictating rhythmic pulses of existence across the exquisite tapestry of infinity. This tapestry, once observed deeply, suggests that within the infinite are very clear patterns and repetitions. Meaning is sculpted as a product of recurrence, a cyclical dance to be embraced, rather than escape. To embrace this vision is an invitation to see beauty within this repetition, for just as each wave laps anew upon the shore, each recurrence allows a fresh interpretive act within the realm of life's endless possibilities. Yet eternal recurrence posits the profound question: within this orbit of repetition, is the now a consequence of cosmic rhythms, or simply a measureless escape into eternity? To live within this paradigm means to conceive how each moment, though ephemeral, ripples across time, contributing to the timeless narrative echoing across eternity's profound dialogue. As the shadows begin to lengthen and pageantry of stars ignite the nocturnal tapestry, we find ourselves drawn closer toward an understanding of the cyclical embrace of existence. This infinite recursion, a melody playing out across the scale of eternity, invites us to reconsider the beauty of life's endless return. It resonates with a serene acceptance that every action, no matter how insignificant, pulses through the infinity of time, and in this lies a magnificent power to live fully and joyfully in the echoes of each repeated act. Let us then, with contemplative thought, traverse further realms of philosophical inquiry, past illusion and beneath eternal recurrence's veil, towards the profundity of existence and reality, in its mirrored extension upon a ceaseless horizon. Picture a vast expanse colored by the hues of creation, where nature's palette paints the earth with every cascade of light and shadow, a canvas where the sinuous interplay between essence and illusion transpires. This is the infinite garden, a boundless haven in which time's fluidity coalesces into fertile ground for the imagination. A realm where past and future seamlessly entwine, unfurling delicate blooms of present awareness across the temporal soil. As you find yourself wandering through its verdant stretches, consider what it means to be enveloped in such wonders, where each sprouting leaf offers a narrative spun from the filament of perception. This space, ever in flux, cradles the very heartbeat of human experience in its gentle sway, offering sanctuary amidst an eternal dance of becoming. Visualize each hour of the day as a sunbeam pirouetting upon the petals of time's flowering landscape, casting ephemeral patterns upon the path you tread. Each step resounds with the gentle rhythm of time's passage, creating an echo that disperses yet lingers faintly in memory's embrace. The infinite garden invites you to observe the myriad forms entwined in its lush embrace, each a testament to the vibrant vitality riding within restless streams of perception. In this sanctuary of endless becoming, consider the metaphor of growth embodied by the garden, a luscious celebration which heralds the awakening of consciousness. Each plant rising from the earth embodies a community of moments, its stem a timeline of silent beginnings, its leaves unfurling like pages of an unseen story. Nowhere is this narrative more vivid than in the sunlit clearing where nature buries growth from decay, embracing the cycle of transformation. Here, in the cradle of impermanence, freshly fallen leaves return their whispered stories to the soil, an offering that nourishes tomorrow's tales. Yet amid this flourishing theater, the fertile imagination also stirs, whispering to us of alternate realities in waiting. Ours is a universe crafted from the seamless embraces of reality and illusion, a garden wherein the mind finds communion among paths woven by memories and dreams. Each mental construct, birthed from seeds of desire, anticipation, and recollection, becomes a rich tapestry interfacing with the sensory world. It reminds us that reality is as much an internal construct as it is an external truth, a garden seen through innumerable lenses of perception, shaped by the stories we tell and the meanings we assign. Consider for a moment that within the tapestry of this infinite garden lies a window into deeper time, an invitation to perceive time itself as a manifold rather than a line. Beneath each layer of experience unfolds the potential for infinite stories. The future blooms with every possibility contained within its buds, while the past cradles the memory of each flowered moment. In this unity of times, our understanding of now is unfixed, perennially rewritten upon nature's palimpsest, where every glance forward and backward renders each moment immediate. As you wander further into this expanse, feel the convergence of consciousness and reality, like tributaries flowing into a vast and silent sea, bringing with them diverse tales of touch and thought. The ever-unraveling now is conjured within this boundless expanse, a synthesis of all that we know and feel, and all that we imagine. In the infinite garden, time is the gardener's hand, which gently shapes the experience into a continuum of presence, experience that blooms, fades, and renews with gentle certainty. Witness the ageless dialogue within the garden's serene core. Its elixir is distilled from whispers exchanged between twilight shades and venerated dawn. As enforcers of the cycle, the insubstantial fragments of thought and sensation float forward, gathering meaning and form. Amidst the interplay of imagination and reality, the mind plays its eternal role, an architect of perception, forever immersed in the ceaseless flow that adorns the infinite garden's perimeter. In this garden, as in life, we embrace that to exist is to bear witness to change and to be ever fluid between states of perception and reflection. This journey through the pages of time invites us to savor the richness of in-between spaces, those uncharted terrains where the ordinary transforms into the extraordinary. The garden weaves the wisdom of change into its perennial unfolding, painting itself anew with every hour, every season, proof that our consciousness, like a plant in bloom, is but a visitor, ever cradled within nature's nurturing womb. As we absorb this realization, the infinite garden whispers its gentle assurance. Reality is not an absolute construct, but a shared dream, forever reimagined across the storylines we navigate, ever beckoning us toward an understanding of our place within its lush embrace. As you now move beyond this fragrant haven of dreams, let us carry the insights of the infinite garden into the realm of your unfolding journey. Consider that reality, much like a well-tended garden, requires balance and understanding, demands both patience and growth. In the spaces between thought and sensation, we find paths leading toward further awareness, and with each step, we approach a future rich with potential. Thus, let the cycles of life continue turning, forever crossing through the lush paths of the infinite garden, a place where time may blossom and eternity may yet begin anew. Imagine standing before an immense mirror, its surface reflecting your likeness. Yet with each heartbeat, the image wavers, revealing not just your present self, but an endless succession of moments, past shadows interlaced with future specters. This mirror of time, ever shifting, confronts us with the profound realization that time is not merely a linear march from past to future, but a liminal space teeming with echoes and anticipations. We gaze into this mirror, seeking an immutable present, yet find instead a web of interconnected instants, sewn together by the threads of memory and expectation. As we ponder this reflection, consider the notion of a timeless corridor suspended between the here and now. Every step you take within this corridor is marked by an endless array of doorways, each representing an event in the tapestry of your life. Some doors are ajar, revealing gleaming fragments of times past that beckon with nostalgic familiarity, while others remain shrouded in the mystery of untold futures. The corridor itself is a continuum where reflections of what was and what might be create a kaleidoscope of temporal possibilities. The mirror of time challenges the notion of a singular now, suggesting instead a shifting mosaic composed of myriad temporal pixels. Each fragment captures a unique moment, radiating with the energy of what has been lived and the potential of what is yet to come. The practice of piecing together these moments is akin to an artist composing a mosaic. Small, seemingly inconsequential elements align to form a coherent image, revealing narratives that are richer and more dynamic than any solitary experience could convey. Imagine once more an artisan at their craft, each meticulous stroke of their brush painting the fleeting, transient now. Time itself is the canvas upon which their work unfolds, a canvas without edges, expanding ceaselessly as they layer brushstroke upon brushstroke of remembered hues and anticipated shades. In this act of creation, both artist and observer, we find ourselves engaged in a dialogue with time, one that tells a story of continual creation, held together by our glance into the mirror. Within this mirror, the very fabric of time is reflective, a surface upon which past experiences, current perceptions, and future projections blend into one another. Every moment reveals the passageway to another, informing our understanding not of a static present but of a dynamic continuum. Each instant an opportunity to reimagine our narrative within the infinite corridors of time. The present becomes an ever-moving bridge, enabling us to dip into the waters of our consciousness and draw up the silver fish of insight and understanding. This reflective exploration dives deep into the nature of perception, where time ceaselessly unfolds like petals of a flower, offering layers of comprehension to those willing to peer into their own reflections. We come to understand how, like myriad actors on a vast stage, each moment plays its part in an eternal drama that informs the construction of reality. Time, the confidant of human consciousness, is a mirror presenting a mosaic of moments, a narrative tapestry ceaselessly expanded by the rich complexity of our lived experience. As our gaze lingers on this metaphorical glass, the illusion of now dissolves into the warmth of the embrace of temporal continuity. It is not a static footprint, but a flowing river, fragmented reflections of understanding woven into a continuous stream. Our perception navigates it not merely as a passive observer, but as an active participant in the ceaseless unfolding of destinies and dreams. And as we stand before this mirror, we recognize that our journey is as much part of the reflection as the moments which it harbors. With this realization, the mirror invites us to ponder the intricate bond between perception and time. A bond that reveals not a strict chronology, but a tapestry of existence, wherein every reflection seen is a reminder of the monumental task of weaving together the past, present, and future. As we release our gaze from the depths of the mirror's vision, let us carry forth these insights, for in understanding these patterns, we stride toward the next threshold of discovery, a realm where perception and reality intertwine like the eternally flickering light of distant stars. In the vast labyrinth of space and time, there exists a realm that transcends our conventional understanding of reality, a domain where the fabric of existence weaves itself through both the infinite and the infinitesimal, inviting us into the extraordinary world of quantum dreams. Imagine yourself standing within a grand observatory, walls adorned with celestial charts, where each constellation maps not solely the expanse of the cosmos, but the variegated landscapes of possibility. Here, the whispers of quantum mechanics echo through the silent halls, narratives woven not by the hard certainty of reality, but by the boundless potential lurking beneath the surface. In this wondrous dreamscape, the classical barriers of Newtonian physics dissolve, making way for a universe where certainty gives way to probability, and where existence itself is but a spectrum oscillating between the realms of is and could be. Visualize the very fabric of reality as a vast garden, where each dewdrop glistens with the potential for countless realities, forever caught in the purgatorial dance between measurement and actuality. At the heart of this tapestry lies the enigmatic principle of superposition, a profound insight suggesting that particles exist in all possible states simultaneously. Envision a particle as a shadow flitting in and out of existence, its essence residing in a myriad of potential forms until the act of observation collapses the wave function into a singular state. In this act of observation, consciousness engages in a subtle interplay with reality, raising the question: does the universe then spring into definitive being through the mind's gaze, or is it forever adrift in a sea of possibilities awaiting our acknowledgement? Picture the famous thought experiment, Schrödinger's cat, a paradoxical tale that illuminates the strange dynamics of quantum superposition. Sealed within a box, a cat is both alive and dead until an observer looks inside, a living embodiment of quantum unpredictability, challenging our traditional concepts of life and temporality. The act of observation collapses uncertainty, emphasizing the vital role of consciousness in defining reality. In this realm, the potential for multiple outcomes coexists, quietly reminding us that at the quantum level, reality reshapes itself in response to our perceptions. In this landscape of surreal possibility, the principle of entanglement stands out as a beacon of interconnectedness. Imagine twin particles, birthed from the same source, their existences entwined across distance, communicating through a silent bond that defies the constraints of space and time. This dance of particles, when one particle state instantly affects the others, even at vast distances, proposes a universe innately connected, an intricate web of cause and effect knitted together by unseen threads, what Einstein poetically dismissed as spooky action at a distance. The phenomena of quantum tunneling further immerse us in these quantum dreams, revealing a world where particles breach classically insurmountable barriers. Envision a steadfast mountain, the peak of possibility towering beyond perception. In traditional physics, to traverse requires a bridge, yet quantum particles defy such bounds, appearing spontaneously on the far side without climbing, reminding us of the universe's fluidity, where the impossible becomes tangible, where permanence gives way to the indeterminate. Quantum reality invites a radical reimagining of existence, one where time itself appears to thread through particles in extraordinary ways. Expanding our understanding, we encounter the phenomenon where particles, seemingly autonomous and unfettered by the arrow of time, engage with future states as though reflecting upon history yet to transpire. In this world, concepts like past, present, and future merge into a singular fabric, posing a provocative question. Do the future's echoes, through the lens of quantum retrocausality, sculpt the present in untold ways? As we traverse the dreamlike corridors of the quantum realm, we are invited to ponder the nature of reality itself, beckoning us to venture beyond the confines of material certainty into an architecture built by states of possibility. In considering our role as observers, quantum dreams propose a universe malleable by consciousness, suggesting reality itself is a cosmic symphony awaiting the oral touch of our presence to bring forth its notes of existence. Thus, our journey through the quantum landscape reveals not only the complexity of the microscopic world, but a profound connection to the macroscopic cradle of existence, interlinking particles, consciousness, and dreams as essential aspects of the grand narrative. As with the sailor under the moonlit expanse of ocean, we emerge from the reverie of quantum reflections, gazing not only into the depths of what is, but the brilliant horizon of what might be, propelled forward by the indomitable spirit of inquiry into the enigma of time's fluid dance. In the intricate dance of existence, we encounter a rhythm of uncertainty, a measure that, instead of creating dissonance, calls us to embrace its liberating cadence. Picture how the universe, expansive and unmapped, is akin to a vast ocean, each wave an uncompleted thought, an unfettered probability dancing upon the swell of infinity. Much like a sailor guided only by the stars, we are left to navigate this sea of uncertainty, driven by curiosity and the innate pulse of exploration. The ocean, that great tapestry of depth and mystery, invites us to lose ourselves in the ebb and flow of its vast indeterminacy. Each wave, as it crashes upon the shores of awareness, carries with it fragments of a forgotten past and whispers of an unforeseen future. Within this tempest of uncertainty lies a profound truth. It is from this very ambiguity that new possibilities arise, the seeds of change sown with the unseen potential within each moment. Consider an ancient mapmaker at work, surveying territories yet uncharted, tracing lines upon parchment to chart landscapes both imagined and real. Each stroke is a declaration of discovery, yet beyond the edges of the map lies the unknown, pregnant with the promise of adventure. This act of creation, the drawing of known from the unknown, reflects our own journey in understanding time, not as a predictable sequence, but as an organic expanse punctuated by the serendipity of uncertainty, inviting us to read a narrative. Uncertainty, in this regard, is not an adversary to be vanquished, but a partner in the journey, a partner that teaches us humility and courage. Picture the spinning top, poised precariously on its point, its motion a balance of chaotic rotations, yet hinting at the profound precision lurking beneath its seeming unpredictability. Such is life, an intricate ballet between order and chaos, a dance where each step reveals the beauty in the unknown, inspiring us to meet it with curiosity rather than fear. In the quantum realm, uncertainty takes tangible form in the famous Heisenberg uncertainty principle, a mathematical assertion that challenges the very foundations of predictability. Visualize an elemental particle inhabiting a state of duality, its position and momentum at any given moment a veil of probability, never entirely revealed. This indeterminacy is not merely a byproduct of our observational limits, but a fundamental aspect of nature. It declares that reality is a tapestry of potential, each thread woven with endless choices until solidified by the act of observation. We find this principle cascading into the very notion of existence. Like an untuned instrument, each striking of a key resonates through the symphony of probability, gradually composing a harmonious melody from the cacophony of potentiality. And as we take our place in this symphony, we embrace the duality within our lives, allowing uncertainty to mold our understanding. The dance of electrons, their ethereal paths swerving around the atomic nucleus, serve as a metaphor for our own lives. In our personal orbits, we too are swayed by unseen forces: trust, love, ambitions, and dreams, always at the threshold of possibilities unknown. To embrace uncertainty is to allow these forces to guide us, accepting that even as we forge intentions, the trajectory of experience may contour itself in unexpected ways. Consider the leaps of faith taken by pioneers of science and philosophy. Standing on precipices where certainty fades into the mists of speculation, they walked the fine line between doubt and belief, trusting in the pursuit of knowledge despite the opaque fog of understanding. It is this willingness to step forward into the unknown that has charted the course of human progress, propelling us to explore, discover, and redefine the realm of possibility. Ultimately, embracing uncertainty is an acceptance of life's grand theater, casting each as both actor and audience in an unscripted play. Much like the twinkling stars guiding the sailor across the dark canvas of night, uncertainty illuminates our path not with the sharp precision of daylight, but with the subtle glow of myriad possibilities. As we pause, reflecting on this intricate tapestry of uncertainty, let us acknowledge its transformative power, an invitation to create, innovate, and engage with the enigmatic beauty that surrounds us. In this acceptance of the indeterminate lies the opportunity to craft a life not constrained by fear of the unknown but liberated by its boundless potential. And now, as we stand, poised on the threshold of what lies beyond, let us venture deeper into the nature of reality itself, peeling back layers to glimpse the structural wonders underpinning existence. As we transition into our next chapter, we shall delve further into how this slender web of potentiality stretches across cosmic and personal realms, weaving stories of dreams and destinies that intermingle within the vast corridors of time. Imagine a symphony, not conducted by hands imposing their will upon instruments, but rather orchestrated by a profound absence, leading each note to find its own path. A resonance born from silence itself. This is the Symphony of Silence, an exploration into the invisible trajectories carving the shape of existence, where silence itself emerges not as a void, but as a presence imbued with potential. Here is a realm where the absence of sound becomes a canvas upon which reality sketches its most sublime scores. Picture a serene lake at dawn, its surface mirroring the sky's blushing descent from darkness to light. Not a ripple disturbs its glassy expanse, yet, beneath this tranquil facade, currents weave patterns unseen, birthing echoes of movement that reverberate through the water's depths. Silence, in this theater of stillness, becomes a witness to the unfolding dance of time, each moment encapsulating an eternal calm, carrying whispers of the past and promises of the future. In the vast cathedral of the universe, silence assumes a structure, a matrix weaving together the threads of cosmic narrative. Absence takes form, gathering meaning from the reverberations of all that once was and all that might be. Consider, if you will, the distant echo of a star collapsing into itself, light extinguished before reaching our eyes, leaving behind an echo so profound it breaks the auditorium of silence wide open, expanding our universe and our very notion of existence. Now envision a gallery, a masterpiece crafted by the convergence of perceptions, its art born from the interplay of silence and awareness. The exhibit is arresting, a collection of time's moments, canvases blank, and yet profoundly expressive. Each painting, a celestial body in its own right, drifts silently across the Museum of Comprehension, a cosmic librarian cataloging the movements of heavenly bodies, guiding us through the symphony conducted without a sound. Within this grand exhibition, silence becomes the overarching theme, marking its presence in negative space. As the brush moves across canvas lightly, it allows the white to breathe. Each moment serves as an open invitation for reflection, where viewers are prompted to explore the spaces left untouched by human endeavor. The Symphony of Silence sings a tune of stillness, inviting us to hear not with ears, but with the very depths of our being. The quantum realm offers another glimpse of silence deeply grounded in the orchestration of nature. Within this space, particles composed of probabilistic states dance a silent minuet, each movement more of a whisper than a declaration. Intricate leaps and spins unfold beneath our threshold of sound, yet these invisible motions mandate the very structure of reality. A performance unheard yet undeniable, its choreography reverberating across existence. Hidden within this silent dance is the concept of coherence and decoherence, the contrast between parts quickly entangling in synchronous motion, only to disperse into chaos with the passage of time. Imagine a crowd in a park, each individual aligned with another's step, only to lose touch and scatter to their own rhythm. Such is the paradox of quantum silence, where cohesion often springs from such invisible harmonies. Beyond the doors of the concert hall, silence maintains a symbiotic relationship with time. Envision time not as a linear march, but as a maestro of silence. Its presence creates a landscape where silence finds its natural resonance. The quietude of moments expands, then contracts, like the tides inhaling and exhaling upon the shores of consciousness. Every quietude experienced invites deeper exploration into the profound interplay between existence and essence. Contemplate the great philosophers of yore, who pondered nature's quietude and glimpsed the essence of the Symphony of Silence. They perceived the absence of sound as a rarefied medium, a space where answers whispered from the lips of silence swirled inward, beckoning seekers of wisdom. Imagine their reflections upon still waters, gazing into infinity, the indelible quiet of starry skies, urging them to seek the unspoken truths hidden within. Silence, functioning as a symphonic instrument, becomes an integral influence in shaping destinies and fates. Within this state, the soul finds its expression, drawing from the wellspring of silence to paint its journey across the grand tapestry of existence. Each note, a moment woven into the composition of life, swells gently upon the canvas of perception. As we conclude our exploration of the Symphony of Silence, let us embrace the truth that silence itself is a canvas wherein reality manifests its most ethereal portraits. The profound quiet meditates upon existence, not as an end, but as a beginning, a potential transmogrified into experience, the sound of silence ringing spacious and eternal in our consciousness. It is here we invite you to pen your next chapters on the tableau of silence, eagerly awaiting the next patterns of their unfolding resonance. Surrender, a term evocative of yielding and acquiescence, typically suggests defeat or the cessation of struggle. But what if, in the context of time, surrender does not connote defeat or loss, but rather acceptance and harmony? In our examination of the illusion of now, we turn inward to explore this profound concept, surrendering not to time as a master or adversary, but as an intricate dance partner engaged in an eternal waltz across the floor of existence. Picture, if you will, a river winding majestically through the folds of a verdant valley, its waters reflective of the sky's every mood, as day gives way to night and night to day. The river's flow, unwavering yet forever changing, serves as a timeless metaphor, a visual reminder of the constancy and change that coexist within the passage of time. Just as the river does not resist its course, neither should we resist time's gentle insistence. In this fluidity lies an invitation to cease battling for permanence in a world intrinsically transient. As we ponder the nature of time, consider the water wheel, its paddles gently turning in the river's embrace. Here, the water wheel acts not as an obstacle, but as a harmonious participant in the cyclic narrative of the river. Each rotation marks the passage of time, not as a loss, but as a renewal, a continual engagement with the present moment. The lesson of the river and the wheel is that surrendering to time is not mere acceptance of fate. It is a conscious act of participation, a merge with the rhythm of the universe. Consider the experience of a masterful dancer deftly navigating the contours of a tightly choreographed ballet. Each pirouette and leap is crafted with precision, yet wholly surrendered to the music and the movement it inspires. This is an image of surrendering to time's rhythm, while contributing one's own artistry to the unfolding of each moment. The dancer is not passive but fully engaged, a mirror to our existence where the mindful embrace of the present allows for the creative interplay between self and time. In contemplating the self as a participant in time, we must enter the meditative practice of letting go. As you settle into quiet reflection, envision each thought as a leaf gently released from the branches of a tree. Time, like the breeze, carries each leaf in a delicate dance across the horizon of awareness, inviting you to witness their graceful descent without reaching, without longing. Such is the practice of mindfulness, a conscious surrender that elevates one above the friction of rushed moments, freeing oneself to engage with the sanctity of the now. Delve deeper and consider the painter poised before their easel, brush in hand, color palette at the ready, surrendering not to a fixed image, but to the subtle interplay of inspiration and canvas. Here lies the embrace of uncertainty that characterizes every creative endeavor. The painter neither resists time nor races against it. Instead, they exist in a space where each brushstroke is in agreement with the moment. In this act of creation, the passage of time transforms from limitation to liberation, allowing boundless exploration. To surrender to time does not mean relinquishing control or abandoning ambition. Rather, it invites a recalibration of focus, an awareness that rests not in the rigid structuring of life's timeline, but in the possibilities that unfurl moment by moment. Imagine, if you will, a sailor navigating an open expanse of ocean, no longer fighting the wind, but adjusting their sails to harness its power. Here, each gust propels the sailor forward, guided by the stars, time's own measure written upon the firmament above. The act of surrender transforms our relationship with time, from one of opposition to empathy. Relinquishing resistance shifts focus from striving to existing, and in this newfound space, the boundary between self and time becomes permeable. When we embrace the flow, we discover that surrender is not a passive act of submission, but an active engagement, a conscious coalescence with the tapestry of time. As we reflect upon the flowing river of existence, let us not see ourselves as victims of time, but as its magnificent collaborators, painting upon the surface of the endless stream. The essence of surrender is transformation, the shedding of rigid expectations for the freedom of the moment. It is within this paradox that we may find true understanding, inviting us to become part of the larger symphony conducted by time itself. And so, in this chapter, as we embrace the concept of surrendering to time, let us prepare to dive into the next arena of our exploration, stepping beyond the mere acceptance of time's passage toward a new understanding of how timeless myths and stories weave their narratives into the fabric of human experience. Here we will explore the mythology that resonates with our collective consciousness, a timeless dialogue echoing across ages, forever engaging with the allure of the present that is simultaneously woven with past and future commands into the same eternal narrative. In the depth of temporal exploration lies a hushed chamber where the quietude of now resides, a sanctuary within the ever-pulsating universe, cradling the heartbeats of existence. As we traverse through this enigmatic landscape, the quietude of now appears as an oasis where time seemingly pauses, dissolving the boundaries between moments, an eternal interstice bathed in a gentle serenity. Imagine a barren desert at twilight, where the horizon stretches infinitely, painted with the soft hues of a sun retreating. Here, silence becomes tangible, and each heartbeat echoes through the expanse, a rhythmic mantra subtly declaring the presence of now. This desert is akin to consciousness, a vast expanse capturing flickering moments where the sands of time shift imperceptibly, whispering secrets only intuited by those who dare embrace the stillness. It is within this quietude that the illusion of now finds a home, an abode where paradoxes merge, and the chaos of past and future is stilled into a sublime unity. The quietude of now is a space defined not by physical presence, but by the subtle music of awareness. Contemplating it demands a gentle peeling away of the layers of temporal distractions that clamor for attention within our minds. Consider an ancient grove at dawn, where each leaf is suspended in the dewdrop's crystalline embrace. This grove, bathed in the nascent light of morning, harbors an atmosphere thick with quietude, a quietude animated by the stirring of the wind that seems to pause, allowing the earth to breathe in tranquility. The presence of now whispers through the grove, each rustling leaf a glimpse into the timeless space where moments gather to become one whole. And as you wander through this grove, notice the nature of it, the subtle dance between motion and stillness, where the air holds its breath before a gentle breeze resumes the eternal dialogue between nature and time. It is through such stillness that the heart of mindfulness lives, a practice that binds us to the beauty of now, detaching us from the pull of the past's regrets and the anxiety of the future's uncertainties. But perhaps the essence of the quietude of now rests in its ability to acknowledge temporality's fleeting nature amidst the constancy of existence. Imagine sitting atop a secluded mountain peak, the world below blanketed in winter's pure embrace. A soft snowfall descends, each snowflake illuminated by the shimmering light of a full moon, transforming the world into a vast, silent wonderland. Every exhale and inhale synchronizes with time's gentle pulse, granting access to the clarity nestling within silent acceptance. It is upon this summit you understand the profundity of now, a shared cadence with the universe, where each breath symbolizes the present, carrying an unspoken agreement to simply be. In this quietude, time's dominion feels diminished, vanished into the tapestry of eternal presence. To enter into the quietude of now requires surrender, a willingness to let go of incessant mental chatter and find solace in simplicity. Imagine a solitary cabin nestled deep within a snow-laden forest, where a fireplace crackles softly in the stillness. The warmth of the flickering flames envelops you, a gentle reminder that within the quietude lies an invitation to engage deeply with oneself, bathing in the aura of presence and echoing with the rhythms of a contented soul detached from the linear passage of time. Here exists a dimension of time that defies conventional measurement, introducing a space enriched by awareness. Within this sanctuary, the quietude of now is not an absence but a portal that leads deeper into understanding, where distraction dissolves into presence and every thought becomes a welcome visitor rather than an insistent intruder. This realm, reminiscent of a solitary star-illuminated night, nudges us towards a more profound acceptance of time's eternal embrace. It whispers of the beauty found within each quiet moment and challenges us to recognize the constant interplay between transience and permanence. It is here in the quietude of now that existence finds its true voice, a silent harmony resonating with the pulse of life itself, reminding us that in quietude lies the ultimate reality, a moment both timeless and immediate, an unwavering echo in the continuum of existence that beckons us to listen, to embrace, and to understand. And as the journey continues, let us carry forward the gentle assurance found in the quietude of now, stepping softly into the next chapter, where the interplay of eternity and temporality reveals further the allure of timeless stories and myths intricately woven into the fabric of human experience.